Hey everyone, if you've been watching the footage from the Mars Curiosity rover, it's probably done just that. It's made you curious as to what's going on. And if you've seen a few of the photos, and there haven't been that many yet, which is kind of strange, but the ones that they do have, they have the little black bars all over. And NASA's response is that, oh, that's because these are panoramic photos and we had to piece them together and this, that, and the other. I don't know if I believe that or not. So what I did a few Google searches, and I decided, hey, I'm going to go to Mars and I'm going to see for myself what's going on. So come on with me. We're going to go into the staging area and we're going to discuss how this mission is going to play out. Okay everyone, welcome to the Alpha staging area. I know I could have come up with a cooler name, but Alpha's the first thing ever, you know, the beginning. That's what it stands for, the beginning. So this is the beginning of a new era in space exploration. We're going to go to Mars. First manned mission to Mars. And one might ask, how do you go to Mars if you're not the government like NASA or maybe Russia over there with their space program with the Soyuz rockets and all of that? How does a private party go to Mars? Well, it's actually not that hard. And what I did, I started performing a few Google searches. And I will tell you, I'm not a scientist. So when it comes to very scientific applications, I'm not too savvy there. But I was able to figure out what I would need, and I was able to build this rocket, and I'm going to go to Mars. So let me bend over here, and I'm going to get the some of the tools that I'm going to take with me to Mars. First thing, and this is a very important piece, there's a risk of radiation up there in space, so you need to protect your noggin. So I got this little hat off of an online store, and I hope it's going to do the job, but it's pretty weird looking. And then also I got a backpack because everything that I need for my trip to Mars is in this backpack. And what I've got in here, I've got a camera. This is actually more high-tech than what they have on the Mars Curiosity rover. This is a Panasonic Lumix TS3 camera. As you can see, when we get to Mars, we will be shooting some very high quality 1080p HD shots with this. And I've got it on a flotation device just in case we land in a lake on Mars, because I have a lot of, I have a strong feeling that water does exist on Mars. So got to be prepared, make sure my camera floats when I touch down. And the next piece of equipment is the GoPro. Now this is the GoPro HD Hero 2 camera. It's equipped on a head strap so that when I'm walking on the Martian surface, I can film what's ahead, and then once again I've got a flotation device on it in case I land in a lake on Mars. Be sure the camera floats. So this is all hunky-dory, and don't want to bore you with details, because I know what everyone's curious about is the trip to Mars. So come on, let's go to the launch pad and let's get this rocket off the ground. Okay, this is a fairly simplistic spacecraft, and really all I've got to do, I've got this device right here. It looks similar to a standard USB hard drive. Actually, it does use a USB cable, but this contains all of the longitudinal and latitudinal coordinates. So this little puppy right here, as soon as I plug it into the side of my spacecraft, it'll navigate me, autopilot if you fly airplanes. This is autopilot for Mars, for a mission to Mars on rocket. Same thing, it's hassle-free, everything's pre-programmed, so I don't have to think about anything. I just ride in the rocket and it'll take me there. So let's plug it in and let's get this rocket off the ground. And it's always recommended that you brace yourself before a launch such as this, because you never know, there may be some turbulence. Okay, we're good to go. First manned mission to Mars. Well, that was kind of scary, but I will tell you the weightlessness rather of space is quite intriguing. You know, I can only imagine once I get out on that Martian surface on Mars and start walking around how that's going to feel, because the temperature on Mars is quite different than Earth. And I think actually I'm going to be landing there during their, what's the Earth equivalent of their winter season. So it's going to be pretty cold. Okay, we're orbiting Mars now. Been orbiting Mars for about the past 20 minutes or so. Just making sure that we've got a good rotational orbit. And this device, as you saw earlier when I launched, that has my coordinates, this is actually going to also power the landing module. So I'm going to get out of the main rocket and I'm going to step into this device that I rigged up after reading some how-to guides on Google, and it's going to take me from the rocket I'm in right now down to the Martian surface. So without being too boring here, let me just go ahead and plug this in. And I'm going to exit this capsule now, this command capsule, and I'm going to crawl into the landing module. Okay, so I'm in the landing module now. As you can see, it's a pretty basic craft, but it does do well, hopefully it'll do a good job. It does have some heat shields on the bottom because entering the atmosphere of any planetary body can be very hot if one's not well prepared. So I've made sure that I've got plenty of insulation down there on the bottom of this lunar landing module, or landing module rather. We're not landing on the moon, landing on Mars. So let me just, I already got my coordinates in. Let me brace myself. And here we go. Now I will say this isn't that bumpy of a ride. I was afraid that entering the atmosphere of Mars would be a lot rougher than this, but it's surprisingly smooth. Whoa. Well, it's kind of a bumpy landing, but to be expected. This was not a very expensive landing module nor a rocket that got me there. So now let's get out. We're here on Mars very safely, and let's get our camera equipment and let's go for a stroll and see what kind of awesome footage we can get. Actually, I think it's funny that they didn't use technology such as GoPro or even a Panasonic Lumix TS3 camera on the Mars Curiosity rover. And I'll be curious to know why they didn't use such awesome camera technology. I mean, it's very affordable. Now, if you notice, I'm not going to wear a tank when I walk out of here, because actually the atmosphere on Mars, it does promote human life. So I can breathe. There's oxygen. And there's water too, and that's something that a lot of people did not think existed on Mars, but as we step out of this craft, I'll prove to you what's up. Okay, so as you can see now, I'm near the crater region of Mars. It's a very rocky area. You can see the nice rock formations in the background. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this camera and I'm going to make a few shots. I want to show you the petrified fossils that are in the rocky surface of where I am right now. Well, not much to say. I mean, I wish I had seen some aliens here. I do believe that there is life on Mars, but I didn't capture any of those. But I did go to Mars, and I was the first man on Mars. So I encourage you to do the same, NASA. And thanks for tuning in. Feel free to check out all of my videos. I'm on youtube.com/IrixGuy. Y'all have a good day.